Hello, thank you for being in a new video. This time I have unboxing of the Motorola Razr60 Ultra. Let's get started. This device is the most advanced folding device that Motorola has. Remember that below it is the Razr60 that comes with several cuts to adjust its price. So in this case we are talking about the flagship foldable, which undoubtedly has a very high price. In Mexico it has had a launch price of 32,999 pesos. On screen you can see the reference price in different currencies. Keep in mind that prices here aren't the same as elsewhere. Still, it's a higher price than we wanted, placing it in a high-end league. It might be the priciest upright folding, but it has strong features. Let's first explore what's inside its box. Then we'll find this small envelope. Let's take a closer look at what's inside, because the box doesn't appear to be very large in this generation. Let's see, here we are pulling out the contents, and the really good news is that it comes with a case, which is quite unusual in this situation. This is due to an EU regulatory requirement, but as I was mentioning, it comes with this sleeve, which not all foldables include. So it is definitely something that is appreciated. It seems to me that, like all vertical folding devices, it will be a cover that comes in two separate pieces. Here we have it, and look how curious it is. In this particular case, it actually comes in two separate pieces, but at the same time, they are also cleverly joined together. I would like to remind you that in this instance, it comes with some adhesives included to stick it properly, ensuring that the case remains securely on the device without constantly falling off. Another little accessory that they include is this one, which is placed right over here, allowing you to attach a strap and conveniently hang the cell phone. You know, Motorola offers something very stylish and elegant in this cell phone. So, notice that even in this instance, we can see that this is styled almost as if it's kind of like a purse. And anyway, there are many more accessories available, allowing you to hang your cell phone with a necklace or something similar. It's really quite stylish. In fact, I truly love the texture of the case because it feels so soft to the touch. It's not just a plain transparent case, it actually feels quite premium, especially with the touches around here where you can see some of the intricate stitching. The truth is that the case certainly enhances the unboxing experience to a notable extent, making it quite pleasant overall. Furthermore, this case highlights the fact that it indeed supports wireless charging using the QI standard. In this particular case, when you want to place it on the wireless charging docks, you must position it in the folded format, which is rather curious. If you attempt to place it unfolded, it indicates that it likely will not work, probably because this portion will obstruct it when in that position. So these are the details that fortunately they do take into account in order to provide you with recommendations, ensuring that you are fully aware of how to use this accessory. We are quite pleased with the fact that it includes a case, and not merely any case, but a very premium one. Here, we will also find some other additional content, which are simply quick guides, the usual papers, and regulatory documentation. In this particular case, there is nothing especially attractive for the user. Here is the key that allows us to remove the SIM card tray, and essentially, that's the content we discover. Now, it's crucial to highlight something very important here because in this instance, I noticed that a charger isn't included. However, as you observed, it seems that this particular unit originates from the European Union and they sent it to us for review purposes. According to Motorola's website in Mexico, they do include the charger in the box when distributed there, but this can vary depending on the different markets. Check in your country if the charger is included or not. But look, this EU regulation also gives us some more interesting information. For example, it seems that the battery supports 1000 charge cycles before seeing its life deteriorated. It is generally taken into account when it reaches 80% of its overall capacity. So it does not mean that after 1000 cycles it will no longer work, but that it will already have a performance that is considered much lower. The level of repairability that they have assigned to it is B, which is quite striking for a foldable device. And don't forget that it comes with an IP48 rating, meaning it has water resistance. We'll discuss that a bit more in a moment, but it was intriguing to see that detail included on the box. So let's take a look here as we get straight to the phone. Like all foldables, it provides us with some important warnings. First, it advises us not to remove the included screen protector and also not to use any third-party screen protector. It's from another seller. If you ever need to replace the screen protection, it must be done through an official Motorola method. But take a look. We're already examining the design, which is stunning with that wood finish. Motorola really impresses with their designs, and I'm assuming the case will match the color you selected. In this instance, as you can see, it's a lovely brown shade. I suppose if you purchase the other available colors, which by the way are in collaboration with Pantone, The case color might also somehow synchronize, but that's just my guess. Now, here we have the cell phone. Let's go ahead and turn it on. It seems to me that this is everything that comes in the box. I must insist we won't find anything else. If perhaps in your country the charger is not included, I remind you that in the description I've left a link to these Ugreen chargers, which are the ones that this supports standard power delivery and Motorola phones, adapting to their max charging power for optimal charging. They come in various types and sizes with different connectors. Check the link in the description for more info. So, we already have the cell phone configured here. What do you think if we go ahead and put the case on so you can see how it looks? Then you can tell me if you would prefer to use it with or without a case. In this particular situation, as I mentioned before, the best thing to do is to remove these stickers so the case adheres completely. However, since I'm still uncertain about whether I'll keep the case on, let's just do the test. Well, it would look something like this. Notice that this part here is a bit unusual when you have the device unfolded. It certainly adds an interesting flair when carrying the phone. It truly looks stylish and you can instantly tell it's a unique phone. So, tell me, would you use this phone with a case or without one? For now, let's use it without a case to quickly learn its details. This foldable device is 7.19mm thick when open, or 15.69mm when folded. Its weight is 199 grams, meaning it is slightly heavier than the previous generation. This is because it incorporates a larger battery than the last generation, which I'll discuss shortly. Additionally, it has an IP48 rating, allowing it to be submerged 5 feet deep in pure water. It also features Gorilla Glass ceramic mic, which is 10 times more resistant to drops compared to the previous generation. Therefore, we are definitely discussing a foldable device whose durability appears to be assured, even if it's not entirely guaranteed. I find it quite intriguing that during the initial setup, it gave me a warning indicating that your phone isn't waterproof, yet it can be submerged in water up to 5 feet deep for as long as 30 minutes. So it's quite curious. I mean, it can withstand submersion, but not to the extent that you can leave it in water for half a day. Also, as with all foldable phones, it reminds you that it contains magnets. Therefore, you should keep it away from items that might be damaged by magnets. And importantly, every single time you intend to fold your phone, you must ensure that there are absolutely no hard objects inside, such as a coin, a pebble, or anything similar, because if there is anything present, it could potentially damage this foldable screen. The screen itself is a massive 7 inches, and we are referring to an AMOLED panel with a very high resolution of 1224 p, making it superior to Full HD. Additionally, it has a refresh rate of 165 Hz, and even the peak brightness reaches 4500 nits. Therefore, it is undoubtedly a spectacular screen, no matter where you choose to view it. Though naturally, it's achieved through software, it features a smart and balanced setting, meaning it won't fully utilize its refresh rate unless you opt for the ultra fluid mode. I believe that with the smart and balanced mode, you experience excellent fluidity and it doesn't necessarily use up as much battery. However, the screen is undoubtedly a spectacle. Additionally, the device comes with stereo sound, having a speaker on the bottom and another in the earpiece area for calls, in my opinion. It's curious that the speaker is on the left side. Most phones have it on the right. I don't know why, but it's almost a tradition. This device is different. The frames are aluminum, slightly brushed, resembling stainless steel, and it looks great. The front camera now features a 50 megapixel sensor with an f2.0 aperture. The previous generation had a 32 megapixel sensor with an f2.4 aperture, so it's evident that this is an evolution. However, if you ask me, I would have preferred a camera with lower resolution but with autofocus capabilities. In this scenario, they have opted for a higher resolution camera, yet it comes with fixed focus, which for me is not particularly appealing. As you can see, the preview still appears burnt in these types of backlit situations, but the result, of course, it looks better in terms of colorization, although I find it very curious that Motorola almost always gives a little more intensity to the color of the lips. For some reason, believe me, the beauty mode is disabled. But I've already realized that this is a more or less traditional behavior of Motorola. As for level of detail, of course we find a very good quality picture, but if you must be at an optimal distance by having fixed focus, remember that if you are. If you take selfies from a very close or very far distance, you may notice that they can appear more out of focus or with less detail. However, you know that, like all foldables, in this scenario, it is advisable to take selfies using the external screen. This is because you would be utilizing the main cameras, which, by the way, are of significantly higher quality. The external screen features a 4-inch diagonal and is equipped with POL technology, providing a pixel density of 417 pixels per inch. So even though it's a secondary display, Motorola treats it as if it were a primary display due to the high quality of the panel it includes. In fact, it features a refresh rate of 165 Hz and its peak brightness reaches 3000 nits. Therefore, it's certainly a display on par with the internal display of a flagship device. You're definitely not sacrificing anything when you equip the device with top-notch hardware. In the cameras, we will find two 50-megapixel sensors. The main one has an f1.8 aperture with optical stabilization, and the ultra-wide has f2.2 aperture, and consider that the last generation had a telephoto lens instead of an ultra-wide lens. So let's take a look at the results. Notice that the ultra-wide camera gives us good image quality in this case. The truth is that it does look with good detail, good color rendering, and good contrast. Next, you are looking at the result that the main camera gives us, which again gives us very similar colors, good level of detail. Overall, it is a camera that does deliver. Notice that it gives us zoom within the sensor. So we have, for example, this picture with 2x digital zoom, but it looks as if it were optical. Even look at this photograph of 91 mm, that is with 4x digital zoom. And it seems to me that the quality is still good, although you can see that it is digital zoom. But I really don't think that the zoom has lost quality now that the telephoto camera has been removed, because it was quite a short telephoto lens in the last generation. So I don't think the zoom has suffered. Watch, this would be the X-zoom photograph, and the level of detail, I think I insist, is similar to last generation, and the maximum zoom has still remained at 20x, and obviously this is not a zoom specialist. If your main focus is on taking photos, keep in mind that currently no vertical folding phone is going to meet your expectations when it comes to zoom capabilities. However, it's important to note that by including the ultra-wide camera, they have also made macro photography possible. As you can see here, you're witnessing a bit of the outcome. I believe that switching the main camera to the ultra-wide camera has indeed resulted in an enhancement. This is because the ultra-wide perspective, especially when capturing video, is frequently utilized. Additionally, the telephoto lens, which was previously used by the ultra-wide camera, is now being employed more often, and the ultra-wide camera itself is seeing increased usage. The previous generation featured a telephoto lens that was quite short, not making a significant impact. Now, the battery provides us with a capacity of 4,700 milliamp hours, supporting charging at 68 watts. It also supports wireless charging at 30 watts and even reverse wireless charging. This suggests that it performs well as a high-end device. In this case, the charging power supported has increased compared to the last generation. However, it's important to keep in mind that we will need to wait for testing, as those fast chargers can sometimes be unpredictable. If the device is unable to fully utilize its power, then we should wait for the video review to conduct all the necessary tests thoroughly. The truth is that it includes high-end features like the battery sharing function. However, keep in mind that fast charging is disabled by default. Many manufacturers have been adopting this approach recently, so we need to perform multiple tests to evaluate its performance. The device comes equipped with Android 15 as its operating system, and in this instance, it is promised to receive Android updates for 3 years, along with 4 years of security patches. However, the update policy is lacking, especially considering the device's very high price. Therefore, this is one of the areas where Motorola needs to focus on improving if they aim to attract more users. However, where they have already begun to make strides is in the realm of artificial intelligence. It's important to note that they come with a Moto-isolated feature that includes several tools, which I will explain in detail in upcoming videos. For the moment, I should mention that several models operate locally. Notably, it allows you to download the models, so you don't need an internet connection. This not only helps you save data, but also, of course, maintains a significantly higher level of privacy. Therefore, it's quite interesting to see how Motorola has taken. This is the right direction, though other manufacturers offer many features, they need an internet connection. I appreciate Motorola's approach and insist it has many options like Catch Me Up, translated to Spanish as I Got Lost, which summarizes your notifications. It shows compatible apps, and over time, we'll test and install more apps to check their compatibility. However, there is an additional feature that lets you, for instance, create playlists when you're using Amazon Music and possibly some other apps. Moreover, it includes customization options enhanced by artificial intelligence. An intriguing aspect is that they also have the Perplexity app pre-installed, which serves as an alternative to GPT chat. Since it is in collaboration with Motorola, they provide a few months of free trial as well. So several artificial intelligence tools are integrated in the system so that by giving 2 taps on the back of the cell phone, you can enable it. Notice that giving 2 taps on the back will enable this little dialog box where it gives you some suggestions, and notice that it will integrate with Perplexity, also with Copilot, also with Meta Artificial Intelligence, and of course with Google's Gemini. So it looks like Motorola is opening up their collaborations a lot for The device can offer its users as many options as possible. Mind you, you need to log in to be able to use these features, but note that after enabling the necessary permissions, we are finally going to be able to enjoy all these tools. So that's it. Let's say we are on any side of the system, and note that we can give 2 taps on the back in any area of the system and immediately opens this box. We can put explore with perplexity and it will analyze the context on the screen to provide us with additional information or context regarding what we are viewing, making this tool quite intriguing. You also have the choice to use the option Save This, known in English as Remember This, which lets you store ideas. Then the artificial intelligence can organize everything for you. It's important to note that it has the ability to turn images and text into memories, allowing the device to deliver a more personalized experience. So in this particular case, for instance, we are going to proceed to save this game. I am going to categorize it as a game that supports 120, just to provide an example of a collection that I might be saving. As I mentioned before, you must ensure that all the necessary permissions are enabled if you want it to function properly. Also, take note that in this instance, it was saved as a memory, but only the text I entered was actually saved. Therefore, it is crucial that if you wish to save the image as well, you should click on the other button that appears. Let's go through it once more. Save this, and here it is. You can see it. First, select this screenshot, and then you can choose the default option that says Save PUBG Mobile in memory. Here, it provides you with the description, and you can click on Save. Just like that, you have the ability to save various things that catch your interest or even some things that you are exploring. Of course, you can also request reminders and interesting activities to do. Then, right here, you'll find all the memories that you have been saving. Additionally, it includes another tool called Pay Attention, which is going to assist you in recording a conversation, transcribing it, generating summaries, and more, all within the same Notes app. There are several artificial intelligence tools available, and as I mentioned, I will provide a detailed demonstration in another video. For now, I simply wanted to bring your attention to this new addition in this section. Additionally, please note that there is another section called New Source, which is located within the app drawer. I find it quite intriguing as it usually appears on the first page among others. Manufacturers actually place it on the main screen. In fact, take note that yes, there is also a Google main screen here. However, inside the drawer, there appears to be another section that is quite similar, but it is by Motorola and it includes different categories as well. And as you can see here at the bottom, there is also Moto AI available for you to make any requests you might have. So we will thoroughly test all these tools in the video review. When it comes to performance, this device will provide us with 16 gigabytes of LPDDR4X RAM memory. Additionally, it includes the option of Run Boost. As for storage, we will have 512 gigabytes of UFS 4.0, and there's also an option for a terabyte. However, the terabyte option is available only in certain selected markets. Nevertheless, the version with 512 gigabytes certainly offers ample space, ensuring you won't run out of storage easily. It's important to note that it does not support microSD cards. And finally, the processor is the Snapdragon 8 Elite, so you will already anticipate that it is going to offer us raw power, although to make this process has been a little weak in their results. In Geekbench, in a single core, gave us 2,841 points, and in multi-core, 8,646, which is still something very powerful, but consider that this processor in some cell phones has exceeded the 10,000 points in multi-core, although here it is understandable due to the little space it has, but also Motorola has integrated different cooling layers. In Antutu, it scored 13,98,785 points, slightly lower than other devices with the same processor. However, we know vertical folding phones aren't known for extreme gaming power, but they still offer a great experience. You can even play games or open any app from the external screen, as shown here. You can also add shortcuts to your contacts, allowing quick access to your favorite people. Additionally, you have your calendar right at your fingertips and, of course, access to any other application you might need. You can even open YouTube or any other app you desire. It's important to note that you also have the full keyboard available, enabling you to search directly from this section or type anything you want with ease. Moreover, it's worth mentioning that this device comes with multitasking capabilities directly on the external screen, a feature that isn't present on all foldable devices with an external screen. This multitasking function allows you to efficiently manage multiple tasks without needing to switch screens, enhancing your productivity and user experience significantly. So, the capabilities of the cell phone are really impressive. However, I will share a lot more details about it in the complete video. For now, we have reached the conclusion of this video review. I truly hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, you know you can let us know, and we will see you in the next one.